of from TWILY just in game in general. But yeah, I think last time I saw Gigawatt, like she was trying to make it to X plus without or was it just X rank? No, it was like, was it X or X plus? I don't know. They were like, she was trying to make it there, while like playing slow. Obviously, is capable of more than that. Um, but yeah, is now just going to game here. Um, yeah, it is 1-0 right now. Oh, I need to. Okay. All right. We have some upstack here. Gigo's gonna take a second there. I think this game is a little bit slower paced than what we saw before. Obviously, like, slower is relative, of course, because we have like, I mean, they're playing at like 2.2, 2.7. Yeah, but I mean, it is looking fairly even. This looks so calm in comparison to earlier. Like I know it's not. I could never play at this speed, but well, it looks like we're playing at this speed. And oh, the Surge is gonna get sent off here. TWILY, unfortunately, is not gonna have that solve in time. And yeah, it looks like it's 2-0 right now. Oh, great! I mean, that is just a solid opener PC here. I thought Giga was setting up for an all spin. Did not end up taking it. Just gonna skim out. That is okay. Takes the TSS there. It's gonna start down stacking a bit now. Great continuation to that multiplier there. And I mean, this game is looking pretty close. TWILY is gonna just barely get that surge and send it off. It is, I mean, I feel like there's just back and forth in like just like a seesaw kind of thing. Like one person gets sent up and then they counter spike the other person up. I know like Gigawatt has quite a bit of experience in like PPT, for instance. Is gonna be pretty efficient there. And TWILY, I think, I mean, if I'm not mistaken on block rationing means that like he is also quite efficient. Great 43! Great downstack from Gigawatt is gonna finally take it there. Yeah, right now, 3-0. Alright, is gonna have that S-Spin PC there. And, I mean, it is quite back and forth right now. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how, like, it's interesting just, like, how different this game feels in comparison to, like, earlier. Like, neither player really feels like they're in danger immediately until, like, the very end. Though right now, Gigawatt is doing a good job at pressuring, and TWILY, I mean, taking his time. The thing is, had to break back-to-back to deal with that garbage, which means there's some surge now on Gigawatt's side. Is going to keep up stacking, building up that surge, building up a surge advantage here. Sends off a 16. Isn't going to get that much out of it, though, because most of it gets cancelled. And now TWILY is going to send off his surge in response here. I mean, both players are like, it just feels like they're chill, even though I know that's not really the case. I'm too used to like the extremely like fast games. I'm like not used to this anymore. I do think there is kind of an element of truth to that. Like, I think both players are capable of striding a bit more, but like both of them do take the time to like think out their actions, and I think it does show. There's a almost DT, but you can use that as like a donated T-spin instead, and that works out really well. That like Skim is gonna break Surge and let Giga set up more back-to-back here. This is like a good way to break Surge. Like, yeah, you like Skim into like a setup, and that means you break Surge, but if it doesn't work out, I'm immediately going to start building back-to-back again. As you can tell from this 10 back-to-back chain, 11, 12 from Gigawatt here. Is gonna just start to send Surge again. Isn't gonna quite work out. I think like TWILY has that like sort of like Agar vibe where like if you do not kill him, he's just gonna like kill you back, you know? You gotta like be certain. I think he plays quite smart. Yeah. I do get that vibe where like there's just a lot of thinking, a lot of like timing here, which I think is quite refreshing to see, honestly. Either way, definitely not a slowpoke when it comes to speed. Like, still playing the game quite well here, just like having a constant stream of pieces. I think there is like a base level of speed in order to like play Season 2, honestly, but it's not extreme. As long as you're not facing off against, like, you know, like, the Westel type player where, like, they're just going to, like, kill you if you aren't fast enough. Even, like, a slight speed disadvantage is fine. Here, though, TWILY sends off Surge, and Gigawatt's gonna continue hers, which means she can break it into a spike here. What is TWILY gonna do? The answer is not much. With this style of gameplay, you have to interrupt your opponent's Surge. Otherwise, if they keep it going, they have all the leverage to like send off a spike and just kill you. You know? That is just kind of how it is. So you gotta be really careful about that. Especially against someone who's just going to be able to keep back-to-back. Like Gigawatt. The thing is, I mean, I don't know how much Tetrio she's played. I don't know how adept she is at all spins. Or how much even like Nutris or anything like that, right? Like, I know her from PPT, and like efficiency in that game boils around T-spins and T-spins alone. Not to say like she's bad at all spins. Like, I can't really say that because that is kind of just like rude to just assume of someone. Oh yeah, if you're from PPT, you're bad at all spins. That's not true. See, there's one right there. The thing is, like, there's going to be less of a focus if you aren't, like, completely prepared for it. And that means even though you're going to be able to build that back-to-back quite well, and your back-to-back is going to be quite powerful, because all spins send the full amount, you're not going to build it up as quickly. So, like the pure, like, count of, like, the count of Surge isn't going to go up as quickly, which means someone like TWILY can counter, at least has more of a chance to. And we've been seeing it, like, Gigawatt has kept back-to-back going and has been sending it off, but like TWILY has almost always had a chance to counter here. And that's what's keeping these games that's what's making these games pretty long. Obviously, like, I'm not like one to like I can't be like, oh yeah, no, you need all spin to win. It just means it's a little bit more difficult, and like I can't critique these players, right? They would still like beat me up like really easily. But I think in a scenario like this, like, it is quite useful to have all spin. And, I mean, yeah, without, like, a really big Surge, the match is not going to end. Like, there's like, a very clear win condition, which is, like, for Gigawatt, it's, like, sending a good Surge, sending a good enough Surge to just kill. For TWILY, it's, like, survive long enough, interrupt Surge, and or like counter spike a Surge that doesn't kill. Though here is something interesting. If you like build up Surge quickly enough, you do have the ability to send some cheese like a Gigawatt just did. Thing is, TWILY is the type of player to be good at cheese. Like, is going to be able to melt through that cheese really quickly. So like, unless it's like a lot of cheese, like you send a surge of cheese and then like you 4Y, right? Something like that, you know. It is maybe a little bit difficult to completely cheese someone up. It's possible. I did see quite a bit of cheese on TWILY's board, but the thing is, like, he downstacked it really quickly. But that's okay. Either way, it looks like we're seeing the other win condition here. Gigawatt is building up that back-to-back now. Is just gonna send off that surge with a T-spin 0, and TWILY was not ready for it. I think might have assumed that Gigawatt was in, like, pure, like, back-to-back mode. But that surge send-off with that, like, T-spin 0, I don't know if it was a misdraw, but either way, it works out. Is gonna win the round there. Giga going for the DPC here. The thing is, you can cancel it quite easily in Season 2, but if you let it wait, you do lose the ability to opener phase. And, like, so you kind of gotta take advantage of that opener phase while you can. I don't know how big of a, like, deal it is, per se. Because PCs are nerfed anyways, you can still, like, cancel and get out. Even mid-game. But, like, you know, it is nice to have that opener surge, and, like, if your opponent is faster than you, at some point, like, you might want to rely on that opener surge. Not rely on it, but, like, you might need it. Maybe not the case here. I mean, I think we are, like, very cleanly in the mid-game, but it can happen. And that is a great spike from Gigawatt, especially, like, I think if you have, like, a playstyle like TWILY's where you're, like constantly, like, you know, like, kind of macroing-ish. I don't know, like, constantly playing at a speed disadvantage, you cannot misdrop, right? If you do not have the speed to fix your misdrops, a misdrop is, like, pretty much a death sentence. Because you're kind of constantly playing from behind. And, like, your decision-making is what's letting you live. So if you're, like, misdropping, aka, like, kind of screwing up your decisions, that is really bad. Can happen sometimes. The good thing is, though, I mean, if you're, like, good with this playstyle, it means you don't misdrop as much. I shouldn't be commentator cursing it. I shouldn't be commentator cursing it. With that, TWILY misdrops, and Giga is going to be able to take advantage of it. And yeah, I mean, it's 7-1. Solid game. Looks like... Okay, no, I think that might have been a misdrop. I was like... Oh, no, I think she's, like, waiting for garbage. No, I think that was a misdrop. I think the thing is, it's not gonna hurt Giga as much. TWILY, I think, trying to, like, shred out PCs, maybe. Okay, either way, it's gonna build up that like, block rashing type setup there. I'm just gonna call it, like, block rashing type now. Oh my god, but TWILY on the offensive now, tries to send off that surge, is not gonna kill, though. Like, attempting to make it work, but... I see the vision, right? Like, at that point, if you're against someone like Giga, you want to try to, like, time, if you have, like, a big surge resource, right? Because the thing is, Giga is going to have the speed to make that surge disadvantage up eventually, not immediately. So you want to, like, try to send your surge immediately. And, like, I mean, I think it worked out there. Quite a good round for TWILY. Very, very well executed. Bit of a jigsaw setup there. Is it, I mean, is it the same setup where you have, like, the F-spin into the T-spin? I need to look at it again, because now I'm, like, thinking, like, oh yeah, if it's at the bottom of the board, it's a jigsaw. But that's clearly not the case. No, I think it is different, because you're, like, putting the overhang somewhere else, I think? Yeah. I'm, like, trying to think about it, but yeah. It is interesting, regardless. Anyways, while I was, like, yapping, Giga takes the round. It's gonna keep back-to-back. That's the thing about PCs now, or DPC now. Certain solves are going to just be so much more aggressive than others because they keep back-to-back throughout if it's just, like, one clear to get a PC. Which is, like, quite useful. And Giga demonstrated that very, very well. Alright, just gonna start, like, donating on top of the... Or, I guess it's a floating. On top of the SDPC here instead of, like, PCing. Just gonna try to send that off immediately. TWILY had enough surge to use as a canceling resource there. Is not gonna get sent up much, if at all, from it. Great all-spin donation there to start building up back-to-back again. Is gonna be using those surges quite defensively. And this time, Giga with a big misdrop makes it out. Luckily, she's cracked at the game, folks. Not quite out of the woods yet. Oh, but great spike there. And like TWILY has all the clean in the world, is going to be able to deal with it quite well, quite nicely. But that doesn't mean that Giga isn't just going to keep up the pressure there. And yeah, with that, Giga is up 10-2. Do you really like watching this matchup, honestly? I think I was getting quite tired by like the kind of breakneck pace of the last few sets. And like seeing like someone who's like a bit slower and is like though plonking. I don't know. It's just like playing like slow but steady, you know? It is nice to see. Ooh, this is tough for Giga actually, and oh my god, the solve is crazy! Crazy stuff there to stay alive at the top. Has the perfect skim right in time. I like that a lot. Is that a color clear, or did it just feel like a color clear? Either way, Giga is upstacking quite a bit now. Is gonna have the skim to open up the well. So TWILY now has the surge advantage. And Giga isn't going to start building up back-to-back immediately, which means that TWILY could play the surge advantage out a bit more before getting it sent right back. It is going to break it now. Just try to, like, make it down to that garbage. I think, like, eventually, like, if you do not have the speed to build up the efficient, like, all-spin whatever setups, like, you are going to get punished for it. Like, you kind of do need to, like, make it down to garbage. I think that is, like, one tenet of playing slow is making it down to that garbage. Keeping garbage access so that you can, like, get rid of it as soon as you get it. That misdrop does take a little bit of thinking, but it is a pretty clear L-spin there to solve it. Just need to figure out the surrounding aspects of it. But yeah, this is pretty chill. Nice little TSD, nice little all-spin there. Again, just playing low, has a sequence here, is going to cancel out of that back-to-back, which means that now is going to be playing at surge disadvantage when you're, like, playing slower than your opponent and you see that, like, big number looming over your head. You gotta, like, act towards, like, getting rid of it. Otherwise, you get faced with that complete board of garbage. Eminem throwing it at you. God.